Hi everyone.
Hello, good morning.
Good
Miss-
morning everyone. Actually, I just enabled everyone's mic in such a way so that if they actually wanted to ask anything, you will just interrupt me in the time of class. Okay?
Hi
Okay.
Sanjay.
Yeah. So what exactly happened? Actually, yesterday we have started a few things. Okay. But the funda was yesterday I was making the notes, but I was not able to share. So what exactly happened? I just actually created the notes here. So it would be able, please, I will share you this actually as a public link. Please, these were the detail which actually I covered it in the orientation program day. Okay. And these are the detail which I yesterday covered it. What exactly is the learning content for the Python? Okay. So I will be keep on updating over here in the class. I will be keep on sharing the content to you guys. Okay. So this is what actually I'm gonna do it today. Like orientation content share, I will be actually sharing this link. Publish is already there. Copy the web link. You will actually have this access directly in the web link. Okay. What I meant it here, yes, here. On the chat, everyone can just access it with this link, but this link will be there for 10 days, not more than that. So if you wanted to just go through the content and download it, you can just download it. Okay. This is the yesterday orientation program one. Yes.
Yes,
Ask.
one question.
Hmm.
Because I'm having Python 10.9
Okay.
something, so
Okay.
will that work?
Everything will work. Anything with in the Python 3.6 or more, it will work. Don't worry about that. Hmm?
Okay, sure. Then I'm keeping that instead of updating it.
Yes, no issue. Only I was saying beyond Python 3.6. Why I was telling you 3.6? There were
Hmm.
certain features which they introduces which we will be using it. That's the reason I said beyond 3.6, everything is fine. Okay. This is actually, I shared this link. This is actually the learning link. I think so I shared or no, I did not publish it, copy. So this content is also, you can actually access it by the link. Okay. Please go to here, chat. Yeah, these are the two content which I wrote it yesterday because on the LMS, I was not able to copy the text content and not able to copy the link. So for that reason, I was just giving it to you. So you guys can actually anytime refer it to the online. You can just see right now, I am accessing the link on the online. Okay. You can see this actually, you can download this content if you want to. Okay. This was just actually the fundamental. Yesterday, what exactly happened? We were going through the book called A Byte of Python. Okay. In the CS Swaroop. When we were actually reading the Byte of Python, I told you actually have to first, when you go through the book, the very first step was installing the Python and PyCharm. These are the installation things. In the Linux, you do not need to do any installation. By default, Python 3 is there. Even in the Mac, you do not need to install anything. Default Python 3 is there. Okay. Please mute your mic if you are talking to someone else. Please. Hmm. Yeah. So as I see right now, 14 people are there. Everyone's mic is enabled. Okay. Rishabh, I was trying to, okay. Yeah, I did it. Okay. So if you just see right now, yesterday we actually talk about it, the how to use the Python interpreter. Okay. Like in my terminal, the same way in the Python Windows also, you can open the Python 3 shell. That is actually just like a terminal like this here. Here you can run it any function or any syntax which works in the Python, you can execute it over here. Like this is what actually yesterday we actually have seen this. Okay. And then I'm just going to again to the book. Okay. This one, closing and choosing an editor. So I told you for choosing an editor, either you can do the coding in the PyCharm or you can actually write the code into the Jupyter notebook. Why these editors are there? Because they actually have inbuilt Python language syntax. What I meant it, if you wanted to write the code in a window, text editor is there, right? Text edit, notepad. So we can easily write the code in the notepad also. But the problem is with the indentation. Sometimes there are some spaces, if you actually leave it somewhere, it will not work. Okay. So I can just show you in someone's system, like writing the code in the notebook is not working in such a way. That is the reason we are actually choosing either Jupyter Notebook, Jupyter Lab, or PyCharm and development environment. I also actually have used it in the past. If I will just say here, my Eclipse is not there. IntelliJ is there. I am not sure. IntelliJ is there. So in the IntelliJ, you can use it. PyCharm also use it, but there are different. You can actually or use any editor. It doesn't matter, any editor. Okay. But they actually were saying it's a dedicated just for the Python. So please use this. Yesterday, when we were going through the basics, I was actually talking about the certain syntax. These are the content. I am again writing it so that it will be helpful for me to make a notes also. Okay. This was actually the content, the very basic of the programming, which we are starting it. First thing in the Python language, comment will start with two keywords. Okay. Start with hash first. When we will write the comment with like, this is my first code, first program or something like that. Okay. So Python will ignore this kind of line wherever the starting character is there actually as a hash. This is the way we will write the comment. Okay. This is the first one liner comment. Okay. When we actually have to write it multiple line comment, that time yesterday I teach you another thing called triple quotes, right? This is the way. This is my my second program or something like that, which will be, which will generate output. Okay. Output of a table of two, just like that. I'm just writing it. So this is actually triple quotes are used for the multi-line comments. Hash is used for the single line comment. Okay. Remember, this is actually in the coding. Whenever we will write the code, uh, if you wanted to share the code to someone else, how they will actually understand it, what is your code doing and what was the fundamental in the understanding of the code, because only that is the way. If they understand your code, they can reutilize the code, means the functionality which you developed it, they can reuse it in their own you can say objective, whatever objective they are doing it. So that for that purpose, we will write the heavy amount of code when we write it around 1000-2000 line code. Okay. So we really require the many number of comments. So this was actually the first fundamental. Second fundamental, I talk about the what you call it here, literal constraints. Okay, what are the variables in the Python? Okay, there are something called literal constants. Okay, literal constants. Like which you can declare it directly, like pi value, and this is actually, these are all literal constant, like number, floating point, okay, and any string. Everything is actually a literal constant. Okay, but basically in the literal constant they are talking about it, but we can divide this into the first is called number. Okay, number can save integer value, or you can say whole number. Okay, whole number, you remember whole number is for minus infinity to 1 plus infinity. Okay, and second called decimal point number, means floating point number. Okay, decimal point numbers, which you can call it float or double, it's up to us. Okay, what you actually wanted to call it, but in the Python only one kind of number is there, which is decimal. It is not actually having float and double explicitly. It is actually everything is the same, means by the precision, it will by default specify that memory. It will actually can contain directly that many number of precision in the decimal point. Okay, so yesterday we actually learned these two, and after that we actually learned about the strings. Wait a minute. What exactly example, Rishabh, for decimal point? Yes. So that's what actually I was saying it in the decimal point. Double supports in the high level language. I am talking about C, C++. It actually supports till 72 decimal place point, decimal point actually. Okay. Decimal point means 72 decimal point means 3 after this values you are typing it. This should be the 72 character. Okay, right, I'm writing it 2 4 6 6 12 6 18 till that this particular double can support this many characters, but float can support till actually I think so till 14 or say 17, something like that. I did not actually wanted to go to exact value, but yes. So in the Python by default, one decimal pointer is decimal variable is there, which will allocate the memory to save the variable. It will by default specify that much memory. So you do not need the two type of data types. Okay. We are talking about it variables, or you can call it actually data types only, which actually allowed in the Python. Yesterday we talked about it. I think so it actually cleared your question, Rishabh. I actually have on the actually I have given the speaking permit. If you actually have a question, please
Hello.
ask. Yes.
Hello, I'm audible.
Yes. Yeah, you are audible.
So my point is, you are proceeding from tomorrow's class, or this is a different type of class?
No,
Because
from tomorrow class I am revising just 15 minutes. Every
because tomorrow I have not attended the class, so that's why I'm asking the question.
if you are not
Yes.
there, how could I actually help it? Yesterday I already covered
Yes,
these
yes.
topics, so I'm
Okay,
just
okay,
I'm
okay.
just actually giving the brief over here what we
Okay.
covered yesterday. Okay.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. In the string yesterday, we actually seen it. What are the ways? One is a single ways, single tick. Actually, you can save a string. This is my name is XYZ, something like that. Okay. With a single tick, this is actually the valid string. Okay. Another string is actually you can save it either with the double quotes also. Okay. What is your name? This is actually also a valid string. With the single quotes also you can declare it. With the double quotes also you can declare it. But there would be the case like here. There is a case when you actually have a apostrophe has here, how you will save this kind of a string with the single quotes. In that case, yesterday we actually have learned it something called, what you call it, escape, ESCAPE, escape sequence. Okay. What the escape sequence does, it will allow us to actually, it will tell the Python interpreter that this is not the end of a string. Like I'm just using the single quotes right now. Okay. If you use this way, it will actually generate the error. Let me just show this. Actually, yesterday also I shown it. It's but you were not there, so I'm just doing it. You can just see if I'm assigning this to a as variable, it will just generate the error and say invalid syntax, because your string is ending here, but due to this single quotes, it is Python interpreter understand it, the string ends over here. What is this? It did not able to understand it. That's the reason it actually gave the error, invalid syntax. For running this kind of assignment, you actually have to use this character. This is known as actually escape sequence. This particular character, slash on the, you can say forward slash. Okay. So this character will actually known as actually as a escape sequence. We will use it for specifying in such cases. This was a one example which I will be using it here. Okay. I was just writing it somewhere here, where here. Yeah. So this is actually the one example of escape sequence. Second example was sometimes you wanted to assign it. These are or actually examples for me. Okay. And whatever I'm writing it here, it's examples. Okay. Another example was, suppose you wanted to assign a variable as equal to, and this variable you are writing in this particular variable all the paragraph, like I am XYZ. Okay. And I am working in the data science. Okay. Like this. And I live in Bangalore, India. Okay. Like this, I was just writing it, and I wanted to end my what you call it, string over here. But if I will write this kind of a string on the Python just give me 1 minute. No nu, please. No nu. Okay. I will just copy paste so you will understand it. I'm pasting here and not here. Copy paste. I did it. Still not there. Okay. I will just did it this here. This is my first program. And after that, what exactly happened? If I will press enter, I wanted to continue write the paragraph into the multiple lines. When you press enter, Python interpreter will take directly this line actually as a single line which you are assigning it. It will just generate the error. So you cannot able to directly write the paragraph. So how can we write the paragraph? You will actually use the escape sequence here, enter. And then it will say the program actually allows us to take input from user and print the result. Okay. Suppose like this is actually the statement. So if your line is bigger, you have to use a escape sequence to actually tell interpreter like this is not the ending of the line is still continue. That is what actually we will use it, the escape sequence more. So these was the two purpose of the escape sequence, which we actually yesterday learned it. Okay, this is the one purpose where this is actually here. You will actually have to use the escape sequence. Second purpose, when you wanted to write a continuation of the line, multiple lines, in every line you need to use the escape sequence. Every line you actually have to use it escape sequence. What I meant it here, and this is actually the second line. Okay, this is third line, and this is the line where I am ending it. Okay, so this is perfectly valid, but every time when I am inserting a line, I am putting the escape sequence. So it tells Python interpreter line is not actually end, it is actually still continuing. Okay, the string is still continuing. So this was actually yesterday. Till this point I actually taught it in the class. After that I stopped it. I just shown the demonstration in the Jupyter notebook and the PyCharm. Now we will start the class. Okay. Yes, so if you see, when I was going through the slide of the Python learning, I was actually going through the understanding of it, who actually developed the Python. He is actually the author, I will say, inventor. Okay, he wrote the Python in 1980. He started it 89. He released the first local compiler, local interpreter, but in 1981, 1991, it was released. Why were you not using the Jupyter notebook? I will be using the Jupyter notebook. It's not like that. Yes, but it is easy for me to write the notes and actually sharing it. I will use the Jupyter notebook. Don't worry about it. Okay. But this notes actually I will be sharing with you, so that actually step by step we are actually following the book. But it's up to you. If you want it, I will just use the Jupyter notebook also. Okay. If you are asking me, I will just go to my folder and start the Jupyter notebook. Not here. Career, and here Jupyter notebook. I can start and actually work on the Jupyter notebook also and share with you guys the Jupyter notebook, whatever we will learn it. Okay. So this is actually new one, or you can say basic of Python. Okay. This file directly will be shared with you also. It's up to you. So we actually have learned it 3 things till now. These are the 2 things. Okay. Now we will go here into the same file, because I will tell you in this slides, they actually have completed the variable only within this slide only. Okay. But there are many things in the variable. That's the reason I am going through the book. You understand it? If I will go through this, I will finish the language within 1 day. But that doesn't make sense, because you will not be able to understand it anything. So it's better follow all the syntax which is there in the book one by one. Okay. Little constant we actually have done. Numbers we have done. Strings we actually have done. Single quote, double quote, and even triple quotes. Okay. Yesterday we actually have done it. This was another topic which I was writing it. Yes. It used to say strings is immutable. Means if you actually assign s equal to, this is my first program. Okay. In the high level languages, we will be able to access this string by the indices. What is the meaning of indices? Means t can be accessed with the 0 index. This will be 1 index. This is 2 index. This is 3 index. This is 4 index. Index means in the memory, the string will be saved. And that memory, if I wanted to actually access it like this here, s bracket 0, I can access this t value. As bracket 1, I can access it this h value. Let me just show that here in the Jupyter, because someone was saying sir use Jupyter also. I will just use this and show it. See this here. This is my string, and I was telling you this is string here. Okay, I will just run it. This is my string, so you can actually access the string as 0. This t will be printed. Okay, and s1 h will be printed. Okay, here. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is space. 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 is actually the y value. Okay. 8 is actually m value, which I am just printing here. So if you just see this here, I will keep on printing as it would be m. So what exactly happened in the high level languages, we will be able to replace this character with another character. But in the Python, strings is immutable. Immutable means you cannot change the string at once you actually declared it here. You can reassign it. Okay, this is what exactly I am just doing it, or you can say markdown. Okay, wait a minute. What is a markdown? Markdown is something like heading or those things. You can actually change it. So it will not be actually executed actually as a code. It is just like a comment or header. Okay, so markdown document I will teach you later. That is nothing but actually just using the hash over here. If you do not use hash, it will be directly just like a text. Okay, but if you put here hash, this is the first heading. Okay, this is the second heading, this is the third heading, h3, h1, h2. This is the h3. If you remove one, it becomes h2 header. If you remove one more, it will become h1 header. This is actually the syntax of writing the markdown document. Okay, so Python string is immutable, means you cannot change single character inside it. You can reassign it with the another string. My name is XYZ. Okay, like this. You can reassign on the same variable another string. Means this another string will actually get some memory allocation, and that would be assigned to S. But you cannot change this directly the individual character in this. That is what actually they are trying to say over here. Okay, so this is just actually the portions. Strings are immutable. Now we will go to the fourth topic. I am following the book I told you earlier, because there are many things which you will not be knowing. Okay, so now there are certain things in the Python print statement I wanted to teach you first. Okay, so what are the fundamental here? So earlier there used to be actually the one language called Python 2. Okay, what was the syntax for Python 2? I will just tell you one thing over here, because this is actually for what I can call it. It is for print string format. Okay, format. String format can be done in the multiple ways in the Python. This was actually the first way was, I am just going to tell you according to the Python, what you call it. This is actually Python 2. In the Python 2 string formation, we used to print it like this. This document is here where age variable will be actually getting 20 value. Name variable is given actually as a Swaroop name. Okay, and so how can we print these particular two values in a different ways? Okay, I am just assigning this. These are two variables. One more time. Okay, so this is actually the syntax for this is actually just a variable which I declared it. Now what I am going to do it, I am going to print it. Okay, just cut and print it below, please. Paste below. Okay, in the Python 2, because you sometimes, but I am not sure you are going to face it or not, but yes, Python 2 syntax you need to know. In the Python 2, we used to write it simple, similar to this, %s, okay, and %s. There was no double quotes in the Python 2, okay. So you can see right now I'm running the Python 3, so I cannot run the syntax, but I'm just trying to tell you there was no no bracket. There was just directly %s. Okay, I printed %s, and then again I was printing it %s. Wait a minute, was %s. Okay, years old, and this is actually the format for Python 2, where I used to write it over here % and the value. I am not sure it will work here or not. This was a syntax for printing in the Python 2. Okay, where print statement used to be actually using the % value and s. Okay, for printing any variable. Okay, so % and the name. This was actually the syntax which used to work with the Python 2. I am not sure if I actually have the Python 2 in my system, but yes, this is actually just actually for your understanding. I am teaching it. I am not sure. Let me just check if I actually have it in my system. Which Python? Everywhere. Okay. Do I actually have it? Anything? Wait a minute. I don't know actually have it. Wait a minute. I think so. I'm not having it. So leave it actually. That syntax. Okay. So this syntax I can just show you. Python 2 interpreter online. Okay. Why? Because I wrote the syntax. I just wanted to show you like how the things work. Otherwise it will not be okay. So you can see there was no bracket here. Okay. This used to be directly like this. So I'm just printing that statement which I wrote it. Okay. So first thing is this variable. These two variables are declared. One is called age. Okay. age, okay, this is not working. Paste, copy, paste. Age equal to 20, and so name is equal to Swaroop. Okay, on this interpreter, online interpreter, I'm by typing it and executing it. You can see it did not print anything. Now I will copy the print statement in the Python 2.0. This is a print statement, and you can just see I'm gonna execute this, and it is printing it. Swaroop was 20-year-old when he wrote this book. Why is Swaroop playing with that Python? Okay, so this is actually the syntax for Python 2.0 or any earlier. Okay, so there they use, now after the print statement there was no bracket. Okay, for the printing the of the everything in actually was as a string. Is a string was presented actually in the percentage x. This is actually the syntax from the high level languages like C, C++, and those. Even in the Java also the syntax works. Okay, so this was actually the syntax in the Python 2. Now I will come to next label. I showed you this how it was executing because I cannot actually have in my system. I was having Python 3 only. So I showed you online. This is a syntax which is working in the current scenario with the Python 3 versions. Okay, this is actually the version beyond. It can work still all Python 3, all the versions. Okay, all the versions right now. Okay, so what exactly happened? They will say whatever variable you can change the variable position also. Like I will just show you one example. This here, name is the first variable which is actually 0th index. So they are printing it name here. Age is actually printed actually, which is that is a one index variable. It is here one, and again name is actually 0 index variable. It is here. So you can just see right now if I will execute it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can see Python 2 syntax was not working. So do not worry about it. It is just actually the syntax which will work only with the Python 2. So I was getting the same output which I was getting it here with the Python 2. Okay, but this is actually also very good. Even if you do not actually put it 0 or 1, it will print the statement according to the sequence. Name was given first, so name would be printed here. Age was given here, so age will be printed here. Name is given here, so name will be printed here. So it would be going bracket assignment according to the sequence in the dot format function. Okay, you can just see. This is actually the same thing. Even I remove the 0 and 1. 0 and 1 just actually for the assignment. Even I wanted to do something different changes. Any confusion here? Tell me right now. In the class, anyone actually has any confusion between this? 0 and 1 is actually just telling the sequence position. This is actually 0 position. This is a 1 position. This is 0th position. That's what they were writing it. 0, 1, 0. Even if you do not write it, Python interpreter will take it according to their position. This is actually the very first one will go here. Second one will go here. Okay. And this one here, there is only one. So it will go by default here. But sometimes why this sequence is actually good, required. This is required here in this position. Right now, what exactly I did it? I placed age first and name later. Okay. So what was actually I was printing it? Swaroop was 20 years. So if I will actually take the same thing here, what actually it will print it? It will print 20 was Swaroop year. Okay. Means the very first position was age here. So what actually we can do it here? We can change it this to 1. I am telling it at the very first position, the first variable, the one index variable will be used at the first position. And the second position, 0th number variable will be used, that is age. So right now, this is actually correct again. You can just see. Okay. So this assignment of the indices are actually good when you are not thinking about it. What would be the sequence in which you will writing this particular variable over here? Okay, any confusion? Tell me, because this is actually all the Python 3 syntax which I told you. Indices are not okay. Wait a minute, I got some chat. If variables are 2 or more, yeah, that's what actually I was saying. Right now this is 2. Right now I will go one more here. Father's name. Okay, XYZ. Okay, let me just write it. And what you wanted to print it here? You wanted to print it father name. I wrote it or no? Father name. Okay, name variable is this capital N, father name. Okay, so father name was Swaroop was 20-year-old when he wrote this book, and his father name is, I am writing it here at the second sequence. Okay, I am just printing only one right now, one line. Okay, for your understanding, these are the three variables. These three variables, you can print it over here without sequence also. Sequence means I am not printing any variable. Okay. And suppose I was writing it this here, and I was didn't remember what was the syntax of this particular variable. I have written it father name first, a name later, and age here again. So what exactly happened? What we will get actually as a print statement. You can just see this is first statement, correct? Father name was not there. Okay, 1, 2. Okay. Now I'm going here. You can just see this is actually Sarup was 20-year-old when he wrote this book. His father name is XYZ. Correct? When I'm writing the sequence 0, 1, and 2, these are the sequence of 0, 1, 2. Now, if you do not give the assignment of the indices here, it will still work correctly. Okay. There is no problem with that. But what exactly happened? These indices are required in the sense when you will write it this in any order. But while printing here, you need to remember what would be the order. So here you want it, you can say student name. So student name was given here at the position of 1. Student age was given at the position of 2. And his father name was given actually at the position of 0 index. So this is actually correct. So you need to understand it. You can write it over here variable in any sequence, no problem. But assignment of these particular bracket should be done properly. Okay, these are actually the Python 3 print statements. Okay, one more statement is there which I liked it. It was after Python 3.6 because someone was asking, sir, I actually have it Python 3.9. So for them, it is actually the one statement after Python 3.6. They introduced the f strings. Okay. So what is actually the f string? F strings makes our life very easy. Okay. Why? You can understand it right now. All this jargon was actually gone after Python 3.6. Why? They were saying you do not need to write 1, 2, 3 or something. Directly write it here. Name, age, okay, and the father name. You do not need this jargon over here, dot format and things. Just delete it. Just put it before this f value. Okay. Then it becomes a f string. Remember, before the double quotes, you actually have to put it f. That's all. You can just see this is actually very easy syntax. So even if you see in my codings, I will be using more frequently f string. Okay. It was introduced after Python 3.6. So this is actually just a syntax for you to remember. Okay. Now going back to my again book. Okay. This was actually the concept about the string printing, which actually they have talked about it in a very many more code over here, like multiple times. What exactly happened they are here. They are just actually trying to build a string here. So they were saying age is a number. You can convert it into the string in this way. You actually have to call. Okay, let me just do that for you. Not here. I think so here it would be easy. What exactly happens? Sometimes you wanted to build a string and you actually have a name and variable like this here. Okay. So you can make it something like here, what you call it? Name plus was, after that there is a string name. Okay. Age plus years. Okay. So if I wanted to build a string which will say Swaroop is 20 years, where this Swaroop is actually variable name, 20 is actually the age variable, and I wanted to assign it to the s variable, this particular keyword. So when I will add all the string together, string can be added by the plus symbol. Okay. But the problem is everything is a string except the age value. Age is actually the number. Okay. Even if you see this here, it will say name was plus this actually can only concatenate string, not the integer value. Okay. So what I will do, I need to do it after here. You need to convert this age variable into string. So you can call the string function. This is calling the string function. It will make this particular integer into double quotes. So you can easily add it. You can just see this here. Print s. After this, So Swaroop was 20 years. So there was no space. I will give the space here now. Okay. Swaroop was 20 years. After that, there was no space. I will give the space here and 20 year. Okay. You can just see this is actually the way I build the string and assign it to the another variable. Okay. So remember with the string, name is actually the string character. Swaroop. This is a string character with the space was. Years is also a string character, but age was actually a number. You cannot concatenate number with the string. You actually have to convert the number to a string only. Okay. So this was actually one example of it. Okay. So this one actually also I have shown you. This is also I have shown you. This is called the F string syntax. After Python 3.6, a shorter way was assigned, which is called F string. I already have shown you what is actually F string. Now, there are certain things which you need to know. I will just do that. Okay. Yeah, this is actually one more part. Certain things was here. What was another thing called? Yes. Suppose now we will write certain numbers. You actually have seen A equal to, I will just say 145. Okay. B equal to 345 point this. And I wanted to print it, the variables in the print statement. And I will just say F string. Okay. A print A and the I will say value of A is okay like this, and the and value of B is okay. I can do this way, right? So I am just double quoting it and just writing it. So it will print the variable right here. What was the issue? This is a single quote. This is the double quote. It should be the single quote. Everywhere I am starting the string with the single quote. So ending should be with the single quote. So this is actually the way it actually printed. Perfectly fine for me. But what exactly happened? In certain cases in our coding, when you are learning the coding, your syntax is actually having very big numbers. Okay. And I do not want you to print this much big number. What you can do it, either you can call from the mathematics function called round function and print it only 2 decimal point. Okay. So there is a round function in the mathematics. You can call it and do the rounding. But in the print statement, there are certain ways you can print it the values with the decimal point. How? You actually have to put it the single colon variable and just say, I wanted to print it till 3 decimal point. Okay. What is this? Actually, you can just see this here. This is, I'm writing it. This is the V variable with the 3 decimal point. Okay. And let me just print this and you can just check. Right now it is printing till 3 decimal point only. I can go for 5 decimal point. It will print till 5 decimal point. Okay. Means after the variable name colon, after that, how many decimal point you needed it, you will just tell that. Okay. Even if you just say this here, like suppose 3 and this is actually, I will just say 5. Okay. So what is actually this meaning 5 comma 3? I will just tell you. You can understand it. It is saying 3 decimal point and this left side can be maximum 5 integer. Okay. Maximum 5. But if it is still there, maximum more than that, there is no problem. Okay. Let me just do that here. If I will just add this here and then do that, you can see even if you say 5, let me just add it one more. Okay. My value was here given only before decimal point, 5 digit should be there, but it is still more than 5 digit. Where it would be used when we actually print the scientific informations, right? That time I really my calculation will be generating very big decimal point results, but I am not really interested on these much decimal point. I am interested in with the only 2 decimal point. This is the reason we will be using it in the most of the scientific calculations, and sometimes you wanted to print the results, so that would be the place where we will be using it, this information. Okay. So even this actually also integer value is there. You wanted to print it with the decimal point, you can print it. So you can see integer value was also printed with the decimal point. Okay. 0.02f. 0 is like you do not want to notify how many maximum digit would be there. But if you specify like this here, I will just show you. Suppose your value was 3 and you are writing it 5.2. What exactly will actually happen in this case? In this case, I will just show you very good thing now. Please do that. So you can just see after this colon, in my printing, after this colon, I am getting a space here. Okay, single space. Why? Total number of digit you specified 5. So you can see 2 digit here, 3, 4, and this is 5 is actually the space. Total number of digit in the printing will be used 5 digit maximum. Okay, if you just say maximum, minimum 7 digit will be used. So right now, if you just print it, you will see how many spaces it will introduce it. 1, 2, 3 spaces it introduced it, because this is total 4 and this is total 3, because dot is actually also a space. So total 7 space will be used for printing this, but in the printing 2 decimal places will be used for the floating point. That is what actually meaning of 7.2. When I am not specifying 0, so there is no spaces, nothing like that. You can directly use it without spacing. Okay, so that is what the fundamental over here to specify this particular value. Okay. So they will be actually showing this here. Okay, decimal point, this informations and that, and sometimes this is actually the 11 width. Okay, what they are just doing it 0 point this 11 width. Hello, just give me 1 minute. This is syntax which you should run it and check it out what is new in this. Okay, this is directly 1.0 divided by 3, so it would be till 3 decimal point. Okay, you can just check this result. Okay, till 3 decimal point, 3 decimal. Okay, and this is next one where they were actually having the hello keyword which they are trying to print it, but what they are printing it in this, they are just not giving any floating point value. They are saying it, you can actually should have a start with the underscore. Okay, fill the underscore with the text centered and to 0 to 11 digit width. Okay, total 11 width. This would be the way, and you can just check it out. Right now they have printed it. This is actually the 5 character total, and how many dashes are there? You can just see 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So total 6 and 5, 11 characters are there, in which all the empty spaces are actually filled with the dash character here. And this caret means the centralize this particular string into the center. So how do you know what are the different ways of printing in the Python? So for that, actually, I used to follow one string format page. I will just share you that particular link, not this one. I think so. That was here. This one, I think so. Okay. It is the link which actually has too many things to learn. Please go through it and let me know if you actually have any doubt, because in the class, I will be not covering everything from this particular link. Okay. But yes, it actually, I will use it while I do the coding, and sometimes task is required. So it actually has too many information about printing only. Okay. So this is done. Okay. What exactly happened in the Python when we use it hello world? By default, Python print statement actually has a what you call it, one new line character. Okay, by default. Okay, this is actually the reason by default one new line character is introduced by the print statement. How do I know that? You can see when I'm printing it, it will actually press the new line character. So like if I will just, how do I know? Just see this print hello world, hello, and after that comma, after that I'm writing it print XYZ. Okay. Okay, you can just see hello would be printed in this another line, and the XYZ will be printed in another line, because there is new line character which is by default printed. Like you can just see in the Python, which is actually a default syntax is this here. This is inbuilt in the Python function, which is by default. I am just writing it to show you this is actually new line character. Even I am printing it, it is the same thing. Okay, so this is actually always inbuilt, which they are not showing it. It is inbuilt here. So what exactly happened? Sometimes we wanted to change this information. Like I do not want to actually have a new line character. I just wanted to actually have a space only. So you can just see right now my print statement actually has changed. You can see new line character was not printed. In place of that, space was printed. Okay. So this and equal to this particular character is actually the way to specify the different kinds of character. like in this place, you can put it space or you can put it equal to any character and you can put it underscore. It's up to you. I'm just printing in underscore also. You can see underscore was come. Okay. So it's up to you what they were actually showing in the book. They were showing it like this. If you remove this particular, there is no character in between. So what exactly happened? It will directly print it hello, comma, XYZ. There is no space between these particular strings. Okay. So that is what they were showing it over here. You can just see they've actually assigned the spaces. So A space B space C. Okay. But C is after C, they did not specify. So after that, it would be the new line character. Here, there is no new line character. It is directly AB. Escape sequence, I already actually have told you. So now what is actually the raw string? Before, when you declare any string as, I will write it R keyword before the double quotes, then it actually declared actually as a raw string. How do I know that? You can call the type function in the Python to tell what is the data type actually. Okay. Like I will just typing the type function with the s, it will tell you what is that. It's an integer type variable. Okay. S equal to 34.5 to type of s. Okay. So according to the variable, the type will be changed. It's a floating point data. It's an integer data. It's a string data. Okay. So this is the raw string. Right now, there is not particular uses which I can explain it over here, but it will be used mostly in which case, while we will actually work on the regex. Not in my course, but yes, this is called regular expression, which is actually used for grabbing the text content. Okay. Like suppose you wanted to grab a keyword call, word should start with the W. Okay. And I'm just saying it word start with the W. It should actually have a 5 different character and end with the D character. So this is actually just actually the way of writing the regex. Okay. This is a place where we will be using the raw string only. Okay. But right now there is no uses. They were just actually explaining it. So I told you when you place R before the double quotes, it's called actually as a raw string. Yeah, in this book. Okay. They were just talking about it. It will be used in the regular expressions. Okay. And variables. This was actually very good things, which was there in the slides. We were talking about the variable. Each variable will be assigned the memory according to their data types. Means I was just showing you here. This is data type as integer. Type is actually integer. This is actually type as a string. This is the type actually as a floating point data. According to that, this particular same S variable will be assigned the memory. Different memory will be assigned according to their data types. But there was something which actually I wanted to cover. Sorry guys, here you can just see this is called this is what actually yesterday I was trying to cover, but I did not get it because I started it from the starting and I was not getting this detail. Okay, this is actually I can call it actually as a notes, but I will just call it actually as a notes only because this is the information about the notes only. Okay, this is called the naming convention. Okay, which will be used in the Python. What is the naming convention? Okay, these are the rules. So variable name, okay, can be what is this is actually the information variable, or they are calling it actually identifier naming. Okay, variables are the identifiers. Okay, they have given the certain names. So this is actually the main rules. First rule, the first character of identifier must be a letter of alphabet, uppercase, lowercase, or Unicode character. Okay, or an end underscore. This is the first rule. This is the second rule. The rest of the character identifier name can be consist of letter, lowercase, underscore, and Unicode and underscore or digit. Okay, anything. This is the second rules. And third rule would be identifier name are case sensitive. In the example, I will just show you. Okay, means they are saying it if you write a variable called my name is equal to Sanjay and my name is equal to ABC. Okay, both are actually different, means they are case sensitive. This my name and this capital and my name is actually different. Okay, they are case sensitive means they are different right now. Your naming convention means this is actually variable name. It can start with the small letter, it can start with the capital letter also, okay, and it can start with the, you can say, Unicode character. Unicode characters are like, suppose I remember, this was actually similar kind of double quotes was there earlier. Different Unicodes characters are there. I showed you yesterday only. So with those also you can start it, with the underscore also you can start it. Okay. These are the naming conventions where the starting can be lower case character, uppercase character, or underscore. Okay, first character should be these three. Okay, these four actually. Unicode I am not showing it because I am not actually having the symbol here directly. Okay, the rest of the identifier name can consist the. This is also valid, and you can just see this also valid. It can actually consider the digit also. Okay, underscore also. So this is also valid name. Okay, till this point, but they were actually showing the example. Okay, this is actually not the same. Lower and this, okay, example of the valid names and the numbers. Okay, right now this is actually just a, yesterday I was trying to convention. Wait a minute, TION, I think. Okay, sorry guys, I have to switch to the book. So they were given over here, like this example. You will just see I is actually the valid name underscore. Okay, let me just copy paste so you understand it in the your table here. Okay, so if I will just assign as equal, yeah, I equal to some name. Okay, this is fine. If I will assign this name equal to ABC, okay, equal to, please, this is fine. Okay, this is not a invalid, these are the invalid. So let me just go with the invalid one now. Control X. So these two are valid right now. So there will be no issue. You can just check. These are the invalid. Okay. So you can see here, number starting with that digit, which is not acceptable. Number actually has lowercase, all the lowercase, but dash was there. So that dash was not declared in the identifiers. This particular Unicode can be there, but it cannot start with the Unicode. It can start with the lowercase character or underscore, not even digit. Okay. So you can see this is all are invalid. The very first invalid was this. Now going next, the second version is also invalid. Again commenting that third one is also invalid. So these are all invalid string. Okay, this is called it invalid identifier. Okay, you can call it invalid identifier, and this is actually valid identifier. Okay, done. Done. Yeah. So this is what actually they were showing it over here in this book. Now the data types comes. Data type will be actually taught in the next class. Numbers and strings we already actually have covered. Object oriented programming, right now I told you I will declare it when actually I will discuss about it. Okay, so this was actually simple things. Now we will go to the another part called what you call it, your operators. Okay, this is called the operators. Operators are used to perform operations on the value and the variables in the Python. These are the standard symbols used for the purpose of logical and the arithmetical purpose. The value that operator operates on is called the operands. Okay, means they are showing it. There are many different operands are available in the Python. Okay, wait a minute. I am seeing someone's no. Okay, these are the 7 kinds of operators available in the Python. So let me just go through it. It would be easy. One by one, they will be teaching it. So these are the 7 kinds of operator which we will be studying it. Okay. We are going after this is called, fifth topic is called operators. Okay. Operators actually going to show the arithmetical operators. Okay, wait a minute, not here. Okay, not here. I will go to the slides only. Okay, arithmetical operator would be what? Plus, minus, multiply, divide. Okay, these are the 4 operators. So they will be showing the code for that. And there are more actually, 7 actually. Additions is called with the symbol called plus. So I am just going one example for all. Okay, in my Jupyter notebook. So this is actually till this point, it is just actually the basic syntax. Okay, this is the basics of, or you can say basics of Python. Perfectly fine. Now going for the next slide, or I can go in this only, but it would be very big. I do not want it to go in the same file. Okay, so I will just share you this file once we are done. Second one is, this file is called operators. Okay, in the operators, we are going to learn these operators. So first is called addition operator. Means you can just see here. In the addition operator is like you can assign a variable actually as 15, b variable actually as 20. So my result is equal to a plus b. So this is actually the operator called plus symbol. So my result would be there in the result variable. So you can just see right now. This is cut. Okay, this is what actually I just wanted to do it. These are the variable which we will be using it again and again, and this is my first operation called additions. Okay, so it able to execute the addition where these 2 variables were already assigned, and there we are using the plus operator actually for addition. Okay, now going for the subtract. Same thing, copy paste. Okay, a minus b. A is actually 15, b is 20, so you will get it minus 5 result. Okay, this is also fine. Now we will go to this is 2 are done. Okay, now we are going for the third one. Wait a minute. Okay, so this is actually the multiplication. So what exactly happened? 15 multiplied by 20, it would be 25 so 300, I think so. Okay, this is the multiplication symbol. You can just see. Okay, 300 done. This is actually the division symbol. Okay, this is actually called the divide operator. Okay, you can just see right now, right? You divided 15 by 20, so it would be 0.75. Fine. Now we will go for the modulus operator. Okay, yeah. So what is actually modulus? In the mathematics of the, you can say in the general mathematics, we call it modulus is actually called, in that case, right now I will just say B versus A. Why? B value is 20. If I am dividing B, wait a minute, someone posted the question. You must be typing in the print result, right? Must we type in the print result? Yes, I am just doing it print result, right? If I will not type it, it will not print any information. You can just see this here. If I will not print anything, it will not print any information. It will execute the statement, save the result in the result. But what is the result? So for that purpose, I am just doing it this. Okay. Does it answer your question? Hi, how to save a Python file in the drive like D drive or in Jupyter Notebook? So yes, okay, fine. In the Jupyter Notebook, what exactly happened, guys? It's a very simple thing. When I was starting the Jupyter Notebook, it will tell me in which path I am right now. This is my career era folder. Inside that, it is there. So I know which is this folder, in which drive it actually exists. If it is not existing it in that way, so it is very difficult. It would be better for you to, if you can go directly to your desktop and save the file and then actually go through that particular thing, because directly accessing the path in the Jupyter Python would be really difficult for D drive, E drive. I would suggest you to work on directly in your desktop or downloads and then move the file to any drive directly. With the Python and Linux, it's easy. With the Windows Anaconda, it would be little tougher. Okay. Right now, like I'm just generating it over here. But if I wanted to generate this particular file inside this assignment, I will go here and generate the file. But I do not want you to do that. I am just going outside. I am generating it here. That is your answer for question. So you can see right now, modulus, what is actually the modulus operator is called percentage. Modulus is called when you divide, like 15 is, we are dividing 20 value with the 15. Okay, suppose I am doing it this way. So I used to write it like this here earlier when I was used to do the division. Okay, I used to say 15 will go one time, and this is 15 here. Okay, this is the way I used to operate it with the division. Okay, and then we will say dash dash dash, and what is the remainder here? This is remainder is left was 5. After that you cannot do the division. Okay, so this remainder value is called the modulus value. So what would be the modulus for B's value is 20, A value is 15. Okay, so modulus value would be 5. Okay, this is the way of actually performing the modulus. Okay, so just actually demonstration sake, it is not the actually code. Okay, so this is actually just why it is showing this way, I'm not sure. Okay, now we will come to the exponential. What is actually exponential and floor division? Exponential is like, suppose I wanted to compute the power of 2 or power of 5 or something like that. Okay, so I wanted to do it here. You can just see I wanted to do the B is 20 to the power of 2. So this is actually double asterisk is a symbol for the exponential in the Python. Okay, so 20 to the power 2 is 400. So this is actually the symbol will be used for the exponential, double asterisk. Okay, remember double asterisk is a symbol used for the exponential. Okay, now we will come to the floor division. I need to check that one in our slides only. Going there, just see every operator, everything would be actually shown here, but I was showing it in our file by default. Okay, addition operator plus symbol is actually used for the addition operator. This is you add the two values. It is not necessary only two value. We can write it plus value 3 plus value 4, like that, multiple values also. Subtractor is used for the subtracting the second value from the first value. Okay, done, we already did it. Multiplication is just actually multiplying the first value with the second value. Okay, this is we already have seen it. Division was actually also as division operator. It will forget about the remainder part. It will just return the division part only. I will explain, Pallavi, 1 minute. Coming to that. Modulus operator, I already told you how you will do the division. Whatever is a remainder after all the division is done, that is called the modulus results. Okay. Now we will come into the exponential. So in the Python, double asterisk is used the exponential operator. So what has actually happened? The value 2 is 2 value, and they are just doing it 2 to the power 10. What would be the value of 2 to the power 10? If you remember correctly, you actually have to multiply 2 to 10 times, and the value is they are showing it 1024. Okay, so they are using a double asterisk operator, and they are just actually doing it 2 to the power 10. That value is directly 1024. Any confusion now? Pallavi, did it answer your question? Okay. No. Pallavi, what is actually the confusion? You can tell me. For the cubes, this is not the for the cube. It is just only for the to the power. So what exactly happened? The power actually you can in the power you can give it the value actually as 2 or something like that. Let me just show you one example. Wait a minute. Okay. Someone was saying, sir, can you do the power of q? Okay. So exponential is the 2 to the power. Power, you can do it anything. Okay. Right now you are doing it 2 to the power 2. It means it's a square. Okay. So it's a square value. It would be 4. If you do it 2 to the power 3, that is actually the by default cube. So you can change this value. It's a cube right now. 2 to the power 3 is 8. So what is the confusion here? This is just actually the exponential funda. Like exponential means this particular value will be multiplied these many times. I got it. Okay, thank you. But Pallavi, actually, I think, sir, you are not considering the non-IT person by going fast. I am actually considering everyone. That's the reason I was just actually assigning the variable first here, and I was doing it by myself before going to the slides. I was just actually writing my own notebook. Okay. So that they will understand it, what is actually going on. I am not directly just going through the slides and actually printing this. Okay. So with the flow division, I was just actually going to check that. Wait a minute. I was getting so many question answers here. So I was just applying them. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Here. Wait a minute. Not here. It was here. Not here. I think so. It was in the slide only. Wait a minute. Yeah. So exponential was covered. So what exactly happened? This value 2 will be multiplied according to the number of value 1. If value 1 is 10, you are multiplying 2 value 10 times. 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2. That is actually the power. 2 to the power 10 times. Okay. Rishabh, I understood it. Most of the people are actually non-IT. I am not writing any difficult things and things. I am just directly assigning it and showing it what is this operator does. It's a simple mathematics here. What is the difference with this to the power, this symbol and this symbol? Okay. Right now, I did not use this symbol. Did I use this particular symbol, Somin, anywhere? The caret symbol? I don't think so. Actually, I used it. I actually wrote it even in the Jupyter notebook. You can check anywhere I do use the caret symbol. No, I use plus symbol, minus symbol, asterisk symbol, single asterisk symbol, slash symbol for the division, percentage symbol for the modulus operator, and this is for the exponential operator. Caret would be actually used. I am not saying it will not be used. But like if I will just check here, I don't think so it will work, but still I'm checking. It is not working. Actually, it is actually used in certain different places. Okay. Like you were actually asking this question, I will tell you that question, this particular symbol will come ahead when we work on the binary operators. Okay. Not right now. It will come into the binary operators. Right now, I was just going for the flow division.
Yes, please. Please, I know I asked earlier, but I noticed in my own Python notebook, Jupyter notebook, I don't need to write a print result for that for it to come out. I think option are the alternate enter. This means the result I'm looking for. Like
you
all
are
these ones. Yes.
you are talking about it. Print is not applicable. You can directly like it like this. This is what you are saying.
Yeah, I don't need to type anything like result or anything. When I click on option or alternate enter, it gives me the results. So I don't need to type. That's why I was asking why
But
you typing
I was just doing it because it's a habit of you can say coding in the development environment, because that's a habit. Development environment doesn't give you any other information until unless you explicitly print it. So it's like you are just actually working only in the Python. I used to work in the high level languages. Okay. So there until unless you will not print it, it will not give you any information. Okay. Just like even I thought Devinder, I know I am not. So I did not even understand it. What you were guys saying it. It is just simple mathematics operations which is working on the two variables. I am just explaining it. What is the meaning of this particular operator? So there is nothing about the non-IT, and I am not doing any coding. I am just showing it. What is this operator doing it? It is just adding this symbol. This is subtracting this symbol. 15 minus 20 will be minus 5. This simple mathematics, it is not the coding here. I am just using the two variable. This is variable is known as actually as operands and operands, and the symbol is called known as operator. It is a command for most of the attendees are actually asking for print result. I understood it. You barely know if you. That's the reason. Actually, yesterday, I asked everyone like when how many people knows this is their first language actually as a coding. Like if you did not know the coding or it is your first time of the computer science language about the coding. Yes, Devinder, because that's what actually I said it. If you are a very first time learning the coding, you need to go through the flowchart kind of approach where people will know what exactly need to. Suppose you need to write a program, you actually have to assign the first variable A to this particular value, B to this variable, and then actually perform the operation. Like I wanted to do the addition. How I can do that? I can save the result into result A plus B. So those things are actually given into the flowchart. It is just like very basic for the 8th standard people. It is not for the any even non-IT background people. If you are like that, if you do not know any coding experience, it would be a little bit tough. You actually have to go through it with that way. Okay, with those approaches. But still, I will try to do that. But the problem is, I will tell you like before you guys are actually saying in that way. I was reading the curriculums. Okay, I told you I was actually having this assigned days also. I need to actually be finishing everything within the 6-month period. So I am even not going very fast because even if you see the first day, I just actually just represented the syntax, variable data types, operator. I am just doing it. This is the second day. So I did not even reach over there. I am going very slowly so that I will explain each topic, everything from the textbook so that you can even follow that. Okay, guys. So I will be actually asking you, it would be really helpful for the non-IT people. Please go through this book one time. It's only 40-page books because when I was learning Python, I first day, I just actually within the 4 days, I read it full the book actually because the book is written actually as just like literature. You do not need to write the coding and things, but you need to understand it what they are doing it. Okay, simple. It's only 40-page book. That's the reason if you read their prefaces, many people actually say, sir, we are not from the non-IT non-computer, like they are not from the computer science background. I will just show you. Wait a minute, not here. Yeah, you can read this particular quotes. There are so many people who are from the science background. They did not know the coding. And I am writing this email to thank you because this book was, the way this book was written, even 15-year-old students can learn it. Like it means 9th class, 8th class student can learn the Python by just only going through the language. Okay, because they did not know the coding. Please, I already provided the book link in the first when I shared the 2 links in the class. If you remember correctly, these are the 2 links. There actually all the content was already shared. You can just not this one. Wait a minute. Copy paste. You can just see this link. It is my link, which actually I yesterday made it into the this. This is the link of the Byte of Python book, freely available. You can download it. It is there. Okay. Guys, I am just going it because it's like we cannot do it much in that way. We were talking about it, the 7th operator, which is known as floor division. Floor division is actually will be used in the sense, I was just showing you one example. I will just show you in the Jupyter notebook. I was just telling you this, leave this please. Yeah. I was telling you, suppose you wanted to divide 3, like you wanted to divide the value of 7 by 3. Okay, so what would be the it will division will go 2 times. Okay, like you will print it here 6, and then actually this is a simple learning of the way I teach the kid, and this is a remainder. Okay, 1. So we will be using this operator for remainder, or you can call it actually as a modulus operator. Okay, which I already used it on the top. This is actually percentage is called the modulus operator, which will be giving you the remainder after division. Okay, this will give you the remainder, but the floor division will give you the, I think so, this is actually, wait a minute, quotient, dividend, divisor, dividend, quotient. I think so it should be quotient will be given over here. This particular value will be written by this floor division. So if you just check it out, I am assigning A to 7 and okay, A to 3 and B to 7. Okay, I am just doing it and I wanted to write a result equal to what you are doing it, B floor division by A, means 7 is divided by the 3. So what would be the my floor division value? Would be print result. Okay. Same thing, I assign these two variable. A is actually this particular portion, B is this particular portions. I am doing the floor division. So this value, which is called actually as a quotient, will be returned to us. I think so too. Okay. So this is what actually is a floor division. So these was just actually all the operators which we are going to study in the slides here. Okay. So floor division will be conduct the floor division. It is used to find the floor of the quotient when first divisor is dividing the second divisor. First should be the actually dividend and another will be divisor. So these are called, these earlier operators are called arithmetical operators. What are this is called arithmetical operators. So what we actually have learned it in the arithmetical operators, you can just see these are the operators: plus, minus, multiply, division, modulus. Modulus was this, and another one double asterisk, and then floor division. These are the operators which you actually have learned it in the arithmetical operators. Now we will go for the assignment operators. You know what is actually assignment? Is called just actually equal symbol, right? I was doing it here. A equal to 53. So what is the equal is called? This is called the assignment operator. What do you call it? Assignment operator. So assignment operator assign this particular value to this particular variable. Comparison operator, it should be less than, greater than, or equal to. Greater than, equal to, and less than, equal to. Now I'm just going for the, just showing you what actually are the symbols here. Logical would be pipe symbol, and symbol, or symbol. Okay, now going there internally into this slides actually. Okay, so I was just writing it so that you will understand it. What is that? Now going back into internal slides. Okay, what are the logical symbols for the people who are not from the tech background? Okay, for them actually I will just tell you something. Okay, in the computers we save all the numbers, means whole numbers. I'm just talking about it right now, is actually whole numbers are saved into binary digits. Okay, binary values. So if you do not know binary values, you should be knowing it, because it's not like that you do not be knowing it. So like in the there are different types of number systems are there. Okay, people used to call it what do you call it? Not integer. What is called it? Wait a minute. Decimal only, I think so. Decimal numbers. Just 1 minute. Decimal numbers, binary numbers. Okay, binary numbers and octal number. These are the actually number system only. Okay, many different number systems are there which will be used in different places. Another one is called hexadecimal numbers. So what are these numbers actually? In the decimal numbers, we will actually write the digit, combination of digit which will be made by this digit value 0 to 9. Okay, so maximum number you can represent it all, you can call it 9, infinite, like 99999, any number of nines. Okay, minimum number would be minus 9999, many minimum numbers. Okay, so these are actually the digit will be used. So these are total 10 number of digit. That's the reason it is called decimal. Deci means 10. Binary is actually only use 0 and 1, these kind of two digits only. Okay, two digit, 0 or 1. So these are called the binary numbers. If any number can be represented by using these two digits, it is called the binary numbers. Like 101 is actually the binary of 5. 5 decimal value. Okay. Third one is called octal. Octal allows us to write the numbers between only these 8 numbers. So there are 8 digits is actually used. So it is called octal. There are 10 digits. Okay. In the hexadecimal, there are 16 digits. What are the 16 digits? 10 is called A, capital A. Okay. 11 is called capital B. 12 is called capital C. 13 is called capital D. 14 is called capital E. And 15 is called capital F. So they will actually have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, E, F only. These are the digits used in the hexadecimal system. So suppose I will just give you one example. I wanted to represent 255 decimal value into all the format, into all the number formats. Okay. So how do we actually convert it? You can check it out online. You can represent 255 in any number of in any of the number systems. Okay. This is just actually from the computer science. I am telling you, these are the general things which everyone knows who actually have done the computer science. Just for non-technical background, you need to learn it, how need to convert this particular value. Actually, it's your first programming languages. So, okay. So online, there would be many methods and many mathematics which we will be using it, but any numbers can be represented in the Python with the decimal value also, with the binary value also, with the octal and hexadecimal value also. Okay. So what exactly I was trying to tell you here, when I was just going to this here, logical operator, it works on the binary value. Okay. So what are the binary values, guys? So let me just show you. I may actually have Ruby installed in my system, which will actually directly convert my numbers to binary value. So 1 is actually represented by the only one value. Okay. Like I am saying it, 10 will be represented by 1010 binary value. Okay. If I will just say 16 will be represented actually as a 1000 this value. B is called the binary. Okay. I am just writing it. This is actually in my system. You can check it out online. That is not the issue. I actually have installed something in my system which will actually directly represent mine. Okay. So I told you 15 is directly one number called F. Okay. Only F. Hexadecimal numbers always will be represented by starting with the 0x. 0 is actually, this is just a standard format. Any digit will be written like this, 0x, and after that any number like this. Okay, F D A C 23 or something like this. This digit everyone can see 0x. This is called the hexadecimal digit. So this is actually hexadecimal digit. From the hexadecimal, you can convert into the decimal also, binary also, any way also. So this is just actually the understanding of this binary number system. Because why you need this number system? Because we are going to work on the logical operators. So now we will actually learn it. What is a logical operator here? This was just actually the background. Logical operators in the Python are used to perform logical operations on the value of the variables. The value is either true or false. You can figure it out, the condition, by the result of the truth tables with the truth values actually. Okay, so I will just talk about this logical and logical or logical not. Let's see into much detail. Okay. So this is actually called the logical operators. Okay. Wait a minute. This was actually the, okay, let it be arithmetical operators. Now I'm going for the next line, next file called, what do you call it? Logical operators. So they were actually having this logical operators and or not. Okay. So what does this mean? They actually assign x value actually as 6 value. Okay. Just a one variable I assigned it. There is no problem in that. I will say is x is less than 6. Is it true or like less than 7? Is it true or false? Can you anyone tell me? X value is less than 7 or not?
Yeah, it's less than 7.
It was
So when you actually execute this, it should give you truth. true. Okay, because x is less than 7. If you type it, x is greater than 10. So it should be false, right? I'm executing it, it's false, right? So now logical operator comes over here. Logical operator. There are 3 operators, and right now I'm just going to print this. Next one is called OR. Third one is called AND. Not. Okay. Good. So you can understand it. What is actually logical operator? If I will write it here, x is less than 7 and x is greater than 10. What would be the output for me for this statement which I wrote it here? Can anyone tell me what would be the output for this, guys, before understanding this?
False.
Huh?
False.
False.
Error.
No. Okay. Error. False. Okay. Now you understand it. This particular value was returning you true. This particular value was returning actually as false. Whenever you will multiply any value with the false, you will always get it. AND means multiplication. Okay. So AND is actually returns the true if both the statements are true. Otherwise, it will always return false. This statement is true, but this statement is false. So both statements should be true. In this case, both statement should be true. Only then you can get result as true. Okay. Otherwise, it's always false. If both the statements are true, then you will get it true. Otherwise, it's always false. Let me just show it another statement here. X is less than 7 and x is also less than 10, right? So both the statement, this is also true, this is also true. So your result would be true. Any confusion in this? Any one of the statement is true, then result is true. Okay. So if in the OR, wait a minute, whatever, it doesn't matter. In that case, both statement doesn't matter. If you multiply any value with the false, you will always get false. It doesn't matter in the case of AND. But for the AND, it both should be true only, then only you can get the true result. Okay. In this case, or any one of the statement is true, you will get the true result. You are still raising the hand. Tell me, Mariam. So right now, this case, this is actually true. This is false. So in any of the statement is true here, it will give you the result actually as true. Someone is asking something, please ask, no issue.
If both the statements are false, the answer will be written as false only, no?
Yes, but there is no actually, what is the meaning? I will just tell you. True multiply, true and false. Okay, just writing it this, you will understand it, what I meant it. False and true, false and false, true and true. So this is actually the main conditions. When true, both the statements are true, you will get the true. Otherwise, in all the cases, whatever is the case, you will always get the result actually as false only. All the cases, it can be first statement is true, second statement is true. All the time, it will be the false. So when you are saying both the statements are false, that is only one condition. So we will all be writing the condition when it is true only. So that was actually, they have written it. Both the statements are true, only then result could be true. Otherwise, it's always false. Okay. Got it? This my condition here, which I wrote it. It's like a truth tables in the in a binary circuit or digital system design actually. Okay. So the main funda was here when I am using the AND logical value. Both should be true only, then only you can get the true. Otherwise, it's always everything is by default false. Okay. This is for, I will just write it for AND logical operator. Yeah, irrespective of the operator. No, it's not irrespective of the operator. I wrote it for the AND logical operator. You can see I'm going to write the same table for the OR operator also right now. Okay. This is for the OR operator. What is actually definition here? Any one of the statement is true, result is always true. Any one is true, result is always true. This is only the case when you will get it, the result actually as false. Otherwise, any places one true is there, your result are true. Okay. This is for the OR statement, logical OR statement. So this is actually true, but this is false. Your result would be by default true because of this particular logical truth table for the logical statement. Got it? Now we will go for the not statement. What is not statement says? If I will just say not of this particular statement, my x is less than 7. What is the x value, guys? Your x value was 6 actually. Okay. 6 is less than 7. That is true. Not will always, you can say, reverse the value, reverse the conditions actually. If your true was, if this is the condition is true, it will reverse to, it will reverse to false. If the condition was false, then it will reverse to true. So in this case, this condition was true. Not of true will be false. And if I will just use it, n is greater than 6 means x value, 6 value is greater than 7. This is actually what exactly happened. This is false. False of not of false mean be it would be true. Okay. Why these actually logical operators are, I am just using it. This will be used in the coding when we work on actually on the simple conditional statements. Okay. Like we will ask it if x is less than 7, then print this statement. In those places, logical operators will be used. So you can just see not is reverse the result, return true if the result is true, return false if result is true, and return true when result is false. These are the places where you will be using the logical operators. What are the data types and numbers? This is actually, we already have covered Booleans. Okay, yeah, this is actually good. There are different kinds of data types in the Python. I already actually have shown it, but still they are talking about it, then it's okay. Data types. So we actually have talked about it, numbers, right? A equal to 56, 356, B equal to 345 point this. These are all called numbers, okay? Which they are talking about it. Numbers are the data type, store numerical value. They are immutable data type. Means in this variable, the value will be stored. This value cannot be changed. In this variable, again, new value can be saved, but you cannot change this particular constant value. Okay, that is the meaning of immutable data. Okay, means the changing the value of the number data type result is actually newly allocated object. Means new value can be saved in the same variable, but you cannot change the directly the internal variable. Pallavi, what you are not getting it any logical reverse value? Can you tell me what exactly is your question about the you are not able to get it this particular value?
Sir, I'm not able to understand what you just said about the not value.
Okay, okay.
What do you
Like,
mean by written? I
okay.
think.
Where I wrote it in my system.
Yeah.
Okay. What I have written it. This true value, if this statement is true, then it will reverse to false. If this statement is false, then it will be convert result would be true. Means not what is the meaning of not operator? Not operator will reverse the result. X is greater than 6. What exactly happened? X was value was 6 was assigned. And you are saying it X value is greater than 6, 7? No, right? It is incorrect. Means it's a false statement. It's a false statement. Not of false would be true. That is what I am writing. Not of false would be got it. Not of true would be false. Not of false would be true. That is what I meant it. Yes, Bhushan, this is the meaning. Actually, when you call it true, it would be actually false. When you use the not operator, okay, while performing the coding, I will be actually using this statements in the very first assignment. Okay, so you will understand it what is the coding and things. But right now, you just need to touch everything. Only then I will actually able to show it in the coding part. Okay, so understanding is this is just actually a conditions, and these condition will be validated in the writing the coding only. Okay, like suppose you are saying it as like I will just give you one example. Okay, not here please, after this. Okay, I am just writing it simple program. Write a program to take input from the user and print true if value is greater than 50, else print false. You got my program right now? This program says you actually have to take the input from the user and then compare the value with the 50 value. Means X greater than 50. If it is greater than 50, then you will print the false or true. That is my statement. So what exactly happened? Still you do not know many things, but still I am trying to tell you. In the Python, we will actually use the input function. Python actually has input function which interacts with user to take to prompt the input and convert it. Okay, prompt the input actually. Okay, so let me just show you this example and this coding actually. I am just gonna take it. This is actually just cut paste. Okay, I am going to take the write the code here. I am going to input the number from the user. Okay, so I told you there is actually the what you call it number input. You actually have to take it from the user. Okay, input is a function just like a print function. Input is a function. Function is what you call it a function in general programming language. Any keywords, any number or any things. If you write it with the brackets like this, open and close bracket, this is called actually as a function. Okay, like you have seen it earlier, print function. Like this is actually the open bracket. Inside that you are passing the argument like s variable, result variable, or hello world also. Okay, so this particular functions is taking the argument. That is what actually it meant it here. Okay, but in our case, input is actually the function which will take the argument if you wanted to give it. If you will not give it, no issue. I used to give it always. Enter the integer value. Okay, this is what I am asking it user to enter the value. Okay, let me just see this here. I am just actually asking, please enter the integer value. So I will write it 54, enter. The 45 will be saved into the number. Okay, I will just say print number. Okay, I am just trying to check if my input which I actually asked from the user, it is saved into the particular variable. So if I will print the variable, I will just check it out if the 45 value was saved into the number. But the problem actually there in the Python, whatever input, whatever value or string, number value, or string, you actually get input from the user, it will always be as string. This is what actually is a problem in the Python actually. I am just writing it into the double way. Wait a minute. Okay, let me just write it actually as a triple quotes. So there would be no problem in the Python. Okay. The funda was here. Python actually has an input function which interacts with the user to take the input, to prompt the input. Whatever number or string value, whatever value you will enter it, it's always actually as a string. You have checked here, I was able to print the number actually as a 45. But if you check the data type of this particular variable, you will understand it's a string, not a integer. Can you see this here? str. str means it's a string. So how can you convert a number string to a number? You can pass directly the function called integer function. If you type it with in front of that and assign it again to the same variable, and then you will print it the type of number. You can just check right now again. By doing this, if I will call int function on pass the argument number actually as an input value to function, it will convert the string to integer. Right now you can see this is an integer value. So integer value you can easily compare. String you cannot compare. Okay. So this is what actually I need to do it. I just did it here. After getting the number, I will convert it into the string value. Now I will write it if I wrote the problem statement here. If the value is greater than 50, if my number is greater than 50, what I need to do it in the Python, there are no round bracket like in the high level language. We will be using this kind of curly braces for the for showing this is actually inside this if statement. In the Python, you do not actually have the curly braces. In the Python, whenever we would need a looping or internal structure to show like the statement is inside the if statement, we used to have to use the colon value. This is actually will tell the Python like this the next statement is inside the if statement. So you can see my indentation by default, whenever I will apply the colon, it will actually change my indentation. Means my next statement will be printed from here after the 4 spaces. This is the basic Python indentation issues. Like whenever we will use this colon will be used in which places? Colon will be used, would tell Python interpreter that next statements are inside the if or for or class or loop ho gaya already. We actually have inside the certain, you can say, conditional statements or looping statements or class statement. Conditional statements are called if statement, if and else, if or else. Okay. These are the, you can call it conditional statement, is, else if, else if. These are actually all the conditional statements. Looping is called for or while. Okay. These are the looping statements, and the class structure also actually have a colon, like declaring of the class. These are the little bit advanced, which will be actually covering it in the next classes. But I am trying to tell you, I am writing this code. So if my number is greater than 50, if a statement, okay, so I will be putting the colon. Colon will make sure next statement is just printed, not from starting from here. Okay. So I will be printing if value is greater than 50, what actually I need to do? Print true. If you get it, the value actually is greater than 50. Okay. Else print false. So this is my simple, or you can say your program, first program in the data science class. Okay, which I wrote it. What is actually functionality? This is my function, copy. You can write it. This is actually the objective of the code. Okay, this is my objective of the code, and you can always do it this way. Yes. This is actually just an objective of your code, which you wrote it right now. Okay. So let me run this. You can just see I am entering the 45. So my value is greater than 50. No. So it is printing false. If you next time again run it, you enter the value 65. That time it is printing true. So this is your simple program, which is written by the 5-line only. So this is actually the place. I just wrote it actually one statement. Okay. Now, if I will write the same program into second statement, okay, second statement will be using the logical statement. Now, the program 2 will say, if you write a program to take an input from the user and print true if the value is greater than 50 and less than 70, okay, else print false. So this is actually, I told you, you have to print true only when your value is greater than 50 and less than 70. Okay. So you can just see same program is there, but everything is same till this point. Now, this is actually one statement. I told you number is greater than 50 and number should be less than 70. So now you understand it. Your logical statement came over here. If your number is greater than 50 and the number is also less than 70, in that case, print true. Otherwise, it will print false. So you can just see right now, if you print 65, it will print true. If you, for the same statement, if you print 30 value, you will be always getting false. Okay. Even if you print the 80 value, you will get it false. Okay. So value should be there. So this is actually one logical operators called AND operator. Okay. The similar code, you can write it another statement for the OR code. So you can see I just use the OR statement here. If your value is greater than 40 or value is less than 30 also. Okay. So in both the cases, you are printing the true statement. So what is actually your value is greater than 40 or a number is less than 30. Okay. Number is less than 30. In both the cases, it will be printing true. So my case is less than 15. 15 is actually less than 30, right? So this statement is true, but other statement is false. Either whatever is the case, any single statement is true, you will get it true. Sorry. You will get it true. Even a number is greater than 40 also. In that case also, you will get it true. Okay. But if your value is between 40 and 30, then this statement is not true. This statement is also not true. So in that case, it will be typing the false. If I'm entering the value 35, you are getting it false. So these are the way we will be applying the logical operator in the future. Okay. Like if you wanted to just take this same code, which we were doing it earlier here. Okay. Copying this here and just printing it again to the fourth code. I will say write a program that will take user input from the value is greater than 50, then print true, otherwise false. Okay. So you were actually writing the condition just like positive, right? You can write it the condition is number is less than 50. Okay. You have written it less than 50, greater than 50 it was written, but I wrote it less than 50 and I applied the not operator. Means opposite of it. I am writing the condition, the value should be less than 50. If I will multiply with the not, negate the condition. Negate means it was already checking less than 50. So when you negate that, it will be greater than 50. So it's the same statement, but using the logical operator not here. So my value is by default 50. So 60 would be by default printing the true. You can just see this. I just wrote the statement with the and not statement right now. Okay. So these are just actually the logical operator, how it will be used in the programming coding. I just showed you examples of it. Okay, actually as a coding here. Now, what are the data types? These data types was actually I was explaining to you guys. Here. This is actually called numbers. Okay. In these variables, you can store the integer value, you can store the floating point values. Okay. And these are all called immutable data type. Means immutable means you cannot change the once value is saved into this particular variable, you cannot change the value, but you can assign the new value to directly here, but you cannot change this particular value. Means changing means a similar way, you cannot change single digit in this. Okay, you can assign the new data variable, like again on the same variable you can save different variable, no issue about that. But you cannot change whatever value in the memory it was saved once. You can reassign the different memory to same variable. So we were just talking about it. This is called integer, right? Integer values. This is called floating point. Okay. And third one is called C equal to true and D equal to false. So this is actually also one kind of data variable called Boolean data. Okay. Boolean data can be actually have a true or false value. So if you just see after executing this, if I will print C, I will be getting either 0 or 1. It's directly right now checking, giving the true. Print D also, that is a false. Okay, it's a Boolean data, which is the another data type in the Python language. So Boolean data also, you can actually convert the particular Boolean value to actually a directly true and false. Bool method is used to return or convert a value to a true and false. Like what is the meaning of this Boolean function? Bool function, right? Yes. Like if I will just say bool 10, what would be it will print it? Anyone knows? Can you tell me? Think about it, what it will print. Bool is a function which will print a value actually as a true and false. So Mariam raised the hand. Yes, you can tell me, Mariam. So the bool function will take input argument. According to that, it will be printing true or false. But it will be printing false only at one case. What was the case? When the value is 0. That is the only case when it will print false. Otherwise, for any negative value, any positive value, every time it will be printing true. It doesn't matter what value is. It will be always printing true. Okay, even negative or even positive. But it will be always printing false only in the case when your value is 0. This is what exactly is just fundamental over there, which they are trying to tell here. What exactly happened? I deleted that slide, Control Z. Yes, it was deleted. Okay. String data types we actually already have covered in the book. Okay. Now they were talking about it, a string concatenation subsets. Okay, wait a minute. String concatenation, we will just actually work on that. Okay. So earlier also string concatenation was actually used. A was like, suppose I will just say my name is ABCD. Okay. And you are trying to form a sentence or question. I will just say question is, what is your name, right? This is a string, and answer would be, answer is another variable. My name is plus name, right? You can build a single string actually as an answer by concatenating multiple string. My name is the particular ABCD dot, and I work actually as okay. I can write it. You can see this is a one string. This is another string. This is the third string. So we are just actually adding each string by each other by just actually using the plus symbol. So in the last, I wanted to print my question value. You can just see, and print my answer value. What exactly I just build it my string, right? So this is called the string building. One by one, I am adding the string in the sequence in which we wanted it. What is your name? That is your question. Answer is my name is ABCD dot, and I work actually as a data scientist. And after that, you can also put it another dot. Okay. Control that. Yeah. So there is no confusion. So what they were just saying it, if I will just say string 1 is my name, okay, Sanjay, and string 2, you can say age, okay, is equal to 34, okay. So what exactly happened? This is actually string 1, this is string 2. I wanted to build a string together. These are the two string which I saved it. I will say string 3 equal to string 1 plus string 2. Okay. Print. I will just say string 3 actually as a result. And print the result. Okay. You can see these strings are concatenated. This is called string concatenation. Okay. One by one, you can edit multiple string together by just actually using the plus symbols. There is no spaces. You can just give the space here. You can give the space here. It would be good in this sense. Okay. String concatenation will be use the plus operator to do the concatenating, means adding the strings. Okay. Subsets are a little bit different. Okay. So they are just actually switching to the multiple topics. I do not wanted to go through it. Wait a minute. We actually have 4 minutes left, so there is no point of actually going ahead. I will stop it here. Okay, guys. So please, actually, if anyone actually have a doubt, please ask. Otherwise, what we actually have studied today, I will just tell you in 2 minutes. If anyone actually has a question, please you ask it. Otherwise, I will just go summarize my things which I did it today. I don't think so anyone actually has a question. Today we started with the basics of Python, where we actually understand it, how we will do the naming convention of the variables. Okay. There are few rules which we wrote it into my notes book, which I was actually will write it and actually share with you actually as a link. Okay. There are first thing was naming convention. These were actually the things which we actually already did it in the yesterday class. Today's we actually started with the naming convention. These are the certain rules. It actually has first character should be the alphabet, okay, upper or lowercase or Unicode or underscore. The rest of the characters can be underscore, upper, lower or digit, but it cannot actually have a dash. It cannot start with the underscore or any other symbols, okay. And the naming convention should be case sensitive. That is what actually they were showing about it. After that, in the Python, we actually talk about the operators. In that, we just actually have covered it only 3 operators. One is called arithmetical operators. Okay. In that arithmetical operators, we actually have used 7 operators. Just give me 1 minute. Articles. Okay. Yes, z equal to arithmetical operator. Second operators, we actually used it here. Logical operators. Okay. Logical operators. Okay. Third one was called assignment operator. So these are the 3 things which we were actually able to cover. They was not actually covering the others. Okay, let me just say when and how you will be using the Anaconda. And we were actually using the Anaconda. When I was using this Jupyter notebook, you should be using the Anaconda only. Without Anaconda, you cannot be opening the Jupyter notebook. Go to open the Jupyter Anaconda and click on that Jupyter notebook. When you open the Jupyter notebook, it will be open in the browser directly like that. There you can directly download this. You can directly open the file or create a new Jupyter notebook file. Okay. 2 other questions are there. PowerPoint files. PowerPoint file is already actually uploaded to the LMS of yesterday class. Please actually download it from there. Even both the books are actually also uploaded to the LMS class. I already actually have shared it. If you just check it out, just showing it to you. Just see this here. I have yesterday uploaded it, everything. If you just go and check it out, the past class. Just 1 minute. In the past class, yesterday class, actually, this is the Saturday class, right? I will just go to Saturday class. For both the batches, actually, I did it. You can just check it out here. This is actually the basic of Python, that is the slides. Byte of Python, that is a book. Flowchart of based Python, that is another book. Okay. These are the two